Hello, BookTube. Hello, friends. Welcome to LizziefayeLovesBooks. I'm Elizabeth. And November is over. We are in the early days of December. And that means that the official time period for the More Montgomery Challenge is over. It ran from the beginning of September through November 30th. November 30th happened to be Lucy Maud Montgomery's birthday. And in case you are watching this video in time to catch it live, we are hosting a wrap-up and giveaway, a final giveaway for some Lucy Maud Montgomery related books on Mitzi's channel, Mitzi Reads and Writes, who has been my co-host for this journey and this really fun challenge that we put together kind of at the spur of the moment, although it's something I'd been kind of thinking about for a long time, but I don't know. I just couldn't make it come together any sooner. But anyway, it has been super fun. I have been almost totally immersed in the world of Lucy Maud Montgomery over the last past 3 months. I've been watching a lot of stuff. Not as much as I wanted to, but still, I've been watching more things than I usually do. Even some things not related to Lucy Maud Montgomery. I've been watching several book and movie adaptations. But anyway, that's a whole different tangent. But I have been reading and rereading all things Lucy Maud Montgomery and just loving it. So I have been doing a video series during this 3 months where I basically took each of our 9 prompts and meshed a couple of them together, but basically talked about things that you could read for the different reading prompts. And today I want to talk about all of the TV and movie adaptations that I know about that have been done on Lucy Maud Montgomery books. And there may be more than you realize. There probably are more Anne of Green Gables adaptations than you realize. There's probably more than I realize. I am telling you right now, I probably will not mention everything that's out there because I know that there are a lot of things, even some things in other countries that I don't know about. And if I fail to mention any of the things that you know about, please let me know in the comments. I won't be able to redo this video or anything, but, if you are curious, you're watching this, scroll through the comments and see if anybody else has mentioned other things that I failed to mention. One of the things that has made me put this video off until the end is just my perfectionism because I wanted all the things in my head, and I took notes as I was doing research, and now I've lost the notes, and if I go and try to clean off my desk to find it, this video is still not going to get done. And I really wanted to get this up today, if possible, so that I could also mention our live stream. And I just want to wrap up this project because now it's December and I've got December things to do. So anyway, let's just start with Anne of Green Gables. But there are other adaptations of other Lucy Maud Montgomery novels, and so I will get to those in a little while. If you already think you know about all the Anne stuff, then check the description. I will put timestamps about where you can find other things that I talk about in this video. And again, disclaimer, I do not know all that there is to know about TV and movie adaptations on Lucy Maud Montgomery books. And I am bound to make mistakes. Please feel free to correct me. Just do it in a nice way in the comments. And let's just hope that I get this right. So if I do make some serious errors, I'll put it right here, or I might come back in and edit in another clip. And if I forget some of the details, I'll try to put images up so that you can see what it is I'm talking about. So, Anne of Green Gables was originally published, I think, in 1908. Now, I have heard people say, I love the original Anne of Green Gables movie, and I'm assuming that they're talking about the movie from 1985 that starred Megan Follows. And, I don't think anyone would argue that it really is, I think, the best one. That's really, I'm going to try to make that my only opinion in this in this video. I really don't want this to be about opinions and comparisons. I did think about making a video comparing all the different Anne of Green Gables, but I'm not going to do that. I just want to let you know about them, and then you can watch them for yourself if you are a big super fan like I am. So the movie in 1985 starring Megan Follows was in fact not the first Anne of Green Gables adaptation by any means. In 1919, there was a silent film that starred Mary Miles Minter, and it is believed still today that that has been lost. No one has been able to find it. It was either destroyed or lost or whatever. You know, there could be bits of it still languishing somewhere in, in a basement or something. But I did find something on YouTube, which I will link in the description. If I can put a card up here, I will. So someone has taken some still shots that were taken, I guess, during the filming of the movie, and put those together so that you have a scene, basically, from Anne of Green Gables, and they have narrated it. So it's really about as close as we can come to seeing what that silent film was like. Now, the movie poster does exist. I saw it in a biography that I read this past month. I will put a picture here. You can find it online, and thankfully that does still exist, but the movie itself is all but lost. Now I did read in that same biography that Miss Montgomery did not like that first silent movie of Anne of Green Gables. Now, I believe that the main reason stated that she did not like the film is because they gave it a romantic ending, and it ended with Anne and Gilbert in an embrace. Well, we all know from the book that Anne of Green Gables ends with Anne forgiving Gilbert, finally, of the, his past sins of 5 years earlier when he called her carrots, but there was not really a romance yet at that point. That happens later on in other books. So then fast forward to 1934, and I believe the company was Radio Pictures. They bought the rights from the Page company that had the rights to Anne of Green Gables, and they made a movie starring Anne Shirley. Now, the actress named Anne Shirley, of course, was not born with the name Anne Shirley. I did do a little bit of research on her, and I can't remember now what her given name was at birth. And when she became an actress, she tried a couple of different names, filmed a couple of things under other names, and then finally when she landed the role of Anne Shirley, she decided she would change her name, or at least her stage name, to Anne Shirley. And so that is why the actress who played Anne Shirley is also named Anne Shirley. So that movie, I did really enjoy, and it is available on YouTube. I will leave a link for it in the description. To my knowledge, the whole movie is available, but it is broken down into several different shorter videos. There is a playlist, and you can just click on the playlist and watch through all of the scenes. And when I first saw a clip of that movie several years ago, I was afraid I wasn't going to like it because I just didn't really enjoy the casting of several of the characters like I did the 1985 version. But the more I watched it, the more it grew on me, and I came around to embracing it a little more than I did when I first saw it, at least, a clip of it. But, you've got to form your own opinions. And as a whole, the movie was very enjoyable. And I'm so thankful that it's on YouTube and I was able to watch it. Now, what I didn't realize at the time, but I have realized, over the last few weeks, there was a sequel, and it was made by a company called RKO. We don't know if Radio Pictures became RKO. I don't know what the tie is there, but Anne Shirley did play Anne Shirley again in the 1940 adaptation of Anne of Windy Poplars. Now, there were a good bit of changes. I even saw one little scene that was taken from The Golden Road, where the story girl is giving a performance, and someone who when she pauses for a dramatic effect, someone from the audience who wasn't aware that that was supposed to be shouts out the line. They do that in the movie, and I recognize that from, being from that other book and series. There was just several different elements that came into play, and they did sort of mash some things together, like her co-worker Catherine became one of the Pringles. She became Catherine Pringle, and the town they were in was Pringleton. I mean, they really went all out with the Pringles. And if you've read End of Windy Poplars, you know that the Pringles wanted one of their own to get the job that Anne got, and so they made it very difficult for her to succeed in this job. So, it's a full-length book that's made into a hour and a 45-minute movie, and so it's, that there's going to have to be some changes. Now, it is on YouTube as well, and it looks like if you click on it, that it's in Spanish, but it's not. There is a title of the video in Spanish, but then it says Anne of Windy Poplars, 1940. And it looks like the movie is actually longer than it is, but only the first half of the video is the movie from start to finish. And then it starts the movie over without audio. And I wasn't really sure why they did that. I thought maybe it was accidental, but I was scrolling through the comments, and someone said that they did that in order for YouTube not to remove it from the site. So I don't really know what that has to do with anything, but that was one answer that was given when somebody asked. So anyway, I did really enjoy that. It was a lot of fun. And I noticed that the YouTube channel that put that on also has several other really old movies on their channel. So if you are into historic, rare, hard to find movies, you might want to check out their channel. I will leave it linked down below as well. So then let's fast forward into the 70s. The next adaptation that I know about was in either 1970 or 72, and I believe it was done by the BBC, and it was a 5-episode miniseries of Anne of Green Gables. And according to what I read, those episodes have been lost. But then fast forward to 1975, and they did an adaptation, another miniseries of Anne of Avonlea, starring Kim Braden again. She also starred as Anne in the first movie the first series that's lost. But on YouTube, you can find videos of sections of the Anne of Avonlea series that was put on or produced by the BBC. So check them out. The filtered look of them is very different. It very much looks more like television, almost kind of like how a soap opera looks. But anyway, still very enjoyable. So now we come to 1985, which is the adaptation that most of us are familiar with. And it was produced by Sullivan Entertainment, who then went on to produce quite a lot of adaptations of Lucy Maud Montgomery books, as well as many other things. In fact, currently they have a streaming service called Gazebo TV, where you can find all of their Lucy Maud Montgomery adaptations, as well as many other films and a few documentaries and things like that. I would almost venture to compare it and say it's kind of the Hallmark of Canada, although I'm sure they have Hallmark in Canada, but you know what I mean. It's just good family entertainment, and I believe they bill themselves as family entertainment. So then in 1987, they produced or released Anne of Avonlea. So I think that the Anne of Avonlea movie is really kind of a mashup of 2 or 3 books. So then, fast forward to 2000, and they did Anne of Green Gables, the continuing story. Most of what's going on in that movie is really completely different from what went on in the Anne of Green Gables books. The one parallel is World War I. So in the third Anne of Green Gables movie, starring Megan Follows, Gilbert becomes a doctor and goes into the war as a doctor, and then is missing in action and all of that. That kind of stuff doesn't happen in the books. In the books, her older sons go to the war. So it's similar but different. And, you just have to appreciate each adaptation for what it is and just know that it's going to differ from the books in quite a few ways. So now fast forward to the 2000s, and there are a couple of other live adaptations that I have watched and enjoyed. Anne with an E, of course, is a Netflix series. I believe there are 3 seasons of it. I have only watched, I think, the first season. I may have started the second season. I may have finished it, but I don't know for sure. I know I haven't watched the 3rd season. It's been a while, and I believe it was canceled after the 3rd season. I did go back and watch the first episode just recently, and I don't have a lot of memories of what all happens, so I am going to go ahead and rewatch what I have watched since I don't remember where I left off, and go ahead and finish watching it. By the way, Anne with an E stars Amy Beth McNulty as Anne, and the one thing I will say that stands out to me about Anne with an E is the incredibly beautiful opening. It is stunning. It's like 3-dimensional art with some color contrast painted in, and oh, it's just stunning. I love it. If you ever have a chance to see even just the opening, it's beautiful. So then the other more recent live adaptation that I have watched is a 3-movie series that starred Ella Ballentine as Anne, and it was produced by PBS. It also starred Martin Sheen as Matthew Cuthbert, which I thought was an interesting choice, and I didn't love that the script called for him to always call her Miss Anne. Not that there's anything wrong with that, it just kind of got old after a while, but I will say that the time frame of the 3 movies is a little more condensed. They have really taken all 3 movies to get through what happens in just the first Anne of Green Gables book, for the most part. I think there are a few elements that actually happen in later books, but or in the next book, but they did stretch it out a little bit longer, I think. Okay, so it's nighttime. I'm going to throw this in here really quick before I end the Anne of Green Gables section, because I was editing the video, and as I was pulling up some images to include, I ran across a movie that I vaguely remember seeing when I was doing my original research, and I had neglected to look into it further, and then I kind of forgot about it. But it is another Anne of Green Gables movie that was produced by Sullivan Entertainment in 2008. It's called Anne of Green Gables: A New Beginning, and it's a dual timeline Anne movie where the younger Anne is younger than the Anne of the book. So then Barbara Hershey plays adult Anne, and I think the premise is she has gone back to sell Green Gables, and she finds some letters, and it leads her to find some of her family that she never knew about. And so, it may not line up exactly with the books, but, a lot of movies don't. So, anyway, I have a few questions I wish I could ask someone, such as, why didn't Megan Follows just go ahead and play adult Anne? Because in 2008, she turned 40, and I think she would have been perfect in the role, continuing in that role. I don't know if Kevin Sullivan just wanted to go in a different direction and do what the title is, A New Beginning, or if maybe Megan Follows wasn't available. Who knows? I don't know. But I wasn't able to watch the whole movie, and I'm assuming that since it's a Sullivan movie, that it is available on DVD and probably on Gazebo TV. So I do want to try to get my hands on that. There are some trailers and some interviews with the cast and things like that on YouTube, and I will link one of those down below if you want to check it out. It also stars Shirley MacLaine and various other people. So anyway, I just wanted to throw that in here because that is another Anne movie that I had wanted to include in this video. So then there is also, I believe, at least a couple of animated TV series. There was an Anne of Green Gables TV series, I believe, in the 1990s. I have only ever seen snippets of that. I knew that it existed, but it just wasn't readily available on any TV channel that I could get. So I never got to watch it. And I need to look now. I didn't actually go and look and see if it's on any streaming service or if it's on YouTube. But if you know if it is, please let me know. And I'm going to jump back in here again. It's the next day. I've been editing. I fell asleep. I kept falling asleep in my chair trying to edit this video last night, and I really wanted to get it uploaded so that at least I could get one more reminder out there about the live stream, but at this point it's probably not going to go up until after the live stream. But as I was editing, I realized that the next thing I wanted to talk about was not only the animated Anne of Green Gables, but the anime series. I believe there's an Anne of Green Gables anime series and an Emily of New Moon series, but I totally messed up that part of the video. So I have not watched either of them. I have just heard from people that they exist. I don't know how to find them, and if you know how to find them, please let me know. If I can find an image of either one, I will put that here, but if not, just know that I didn't have enough information. So that brings me to Emily of New Moon. Now, Emily of New Moon is the only Lucy Maud Montgomery adaptation in recent years that I know of that is not or was not produced by Sullivan Entertainment. It was produced by Salter Street Films, and it's a 4-season series. The first 3 seasons have 13 episodes, and the 4th season has 7. I am in the middle of season 3 right now. I was not able to get it finished, but I have enjoyed it. I did think early in season 3, they sort of jumped the shark a little bit. There was some crazy stuff happening, but anyway, it sort of leveled off and moved on, and so, you know, I'm enjoying watching it. It is a little darker, because I think the Emily books are maybe a little darker than Anne and some of the other stories by Lucy Maud Montgomery. But I felt like that even now, after having reread the Emily of New Moon books during this challenge, that still the whole second sight thing that she has is downplayed in the book a little more than it is in the show. And, you know, TV and movie producers are always trying to sensationalize things and make them better for the screen, and maybe that's why it was done that way. I don't know. But I have heard some negative opinions of the Emily of New Moon series. I thought it was fine. I enjoyed it, but you know, and I will go ahead and finish it for sure. But just know going into it that you may not love it. And you might. So it is there. In fact, it's available on Hoopla, which is a library app, if you're not familiar with it. And one episode is a borrow, though. So if you are limited to, say, 10 or 12 borrows in a month, and you're used to, like me, listening to a lot of audiobooks, it may take you a while to get through all of the episodes, because each episode counts as a borrow. All right, so then back to other things, other adaptations of other Lucy Maud Montgomery books. So we've covered Anne, we've covered Emily of New Moon, which, by the way, stars Martha McIsaac as Emily, and this is her right here. So check it out. You know, at least watch an episode or two if you can find it, and see if you like it. So then, before I get into probably one of the favorites, let me just talk about movie adaptations of her standalones. Now, there are only 5 standalones by Lucy Maud Montgomery, standalone novels. I did a video about those a couple of months ago. One of them is Jane of Lantern Hill, and there is a movie adaptation of Jane of Lantern Hill, and it's just called Lantern Hill. And this is produced by Sullivan Entertainment. It stars Sam Waterston. It also stars Colleen Dewhurst, who plays Marilla in Anne of Green Gables, but in this movie, she plays a character that does not even exist in Jane of Lantern Hill. So I guess it was just another effort to create a part for her, and also to make it a little more supernatural. To my recollection, there are not any supernatural elements in the book Jane of Lantern Hill, but there are in this movie. So if you watch this movie and you see that, if you don't like it, don't let that, you know, keep you from reading the book, because the book Jane of Lantern Hill is very enjoyable. Now, this movie is enjoyable as well. I'm just letting you know that that is an element that's in the movie that's not in the book. And then speaking of standalones by Lucy Montgomery, I have heard rumors that there will be a movie of The Blue Castle. I don't know how far into the process they are in. I don't know who's doing it. I don't know if it's Sullivan Entertainment or another company, but I have heard rumors and I can't wait. I think that's going to be awesome. So now the only other adaptation that I know about is perhaps the most extensive, and that is a 7-season TV series based on a 2-book duology called The Story Girl, and the show is, of course, Road to Avonlea. Now, Road to Avonlea is very widely known and loved. It was a series that first started in 1990. It stars Sarah Polley as the Story Girl, and her character name is Sarah Stanley. And I did reread or re-listen to The Story Girl and The Golden Road earlier in November and very much enjoyed it, and I was reminded of some of the differences between the adaptation and the book. For one thing, the book has a cast of 8 children and the show has a cast of 6 children. So they did sort of combine some of the characters in order to reduce the number of kids, I guess, that they would have to wrangle in, on the TV set. But anyway, this is a great series. I absolutely love it. I think I've really only probably watched season 1. I first started watching this when I discovered that one of the libraries in my county had these on VHS, and each tape only had 2, maybe 4 episodes per video. I think really just 2 episodes per video. And the library did not have all of them, and some of the ones they had were constantly checked out and not returned, and I would go in the library for those last 2 or 3 that I really wanted to watch and just beg them to please stop renewing this person who had this one video checked out for weeks and weeks and weeks, and probably because they had lost it, and eventually, it came up missing and I never got to see it. So I don't think that the videos that my library owned went past season 1. It might have, but I'm not absolutely certain. But as Christmas gifts, I guess, over a period of 3 or 4 years, my family not only gave me season 1 on DVD, they gave me season 2, which I still haven't opened yet, and season 3, which I still haven't opened yet, and also what I believe is a reunion movie that takes place after season 7. This is called An Avonlea Christmas. I did put this in and start to watch it, and I realized, whoa, this takes place way past where I am in the series. So I don't think I finished watching it. If I did, I don't remember what happens. So anyway, it is my goal to watch all 7 seasons, but I've got to get through these that I own first, and then I'll worry about if I'm gonna buy the rest on eBay, which they're not cheap there, or subscribe to Gazebo TV or something. I don't know. I do want to watch them all, but it'll take me some time to get to them. Anyway, this is just a fantastic series. I absolutely love it. Again, it's based on the books The Story Girl and The Golden Road, and definitely worth watching. It is a fantastic family show, and I highly recommend it. So that's everything I know about that has been adapted for movie and TV by Lucy Montgomery. Let me know in the comments if you know about anything else that I have not mentioned, or, if there's any information about any of them that I did not mention. Of course, I know there's really a lot more details that I could give you, but I don't want to make this video last all day. I really just kind of wanted to let you know about these things so that you can check them out for yourself. If you are a Lucy Montgomery fan like I am, I'm sure you will want to watch all the things, and let's chat in the comments. Let me know what you've watched, what you haven't, what you want to watch, and if you're watching this before December 4th, 2022, join us for our live stream on Mitzi's channel, Mitzi Reads and Writes, and if you're watching it after, please come on over to Mitzi's channel and watch it after the fact. And I have a whole playlist of all of the things related to this challenge. And then the last video on my playlist coming up soon will be my wrap up of everything I read for the More Montgomery Challenge in the month of November, as well as a little peek at my collection of Lucy Maud Montgomery books and items that I have not already shown you in previous videos. So that is all for this video. I hope you are having a great day. Read a good book and watch a good movie or TV show, and God bless you.